Good day and welcome to another Corr-Serve 10-minute coffee chat. Today we are talking One-Touch. It's the second video that we're doing on One-Touch, and we're going to do a Q&A session again. So I'm joined by Glyn Bryson from One-Touch, and he's going to be taking us through some of the nuances of getting One-Touch out into the market. So welcome, Glyn. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's great to be here with you, Mark. Looking forward to the conversation today.
Great. So let's kick off then. I think the best place to start, especially for those people out there that don't really know One-Touch, is what is One-Touch all about? So if you wouldn't mind just giving us your version of a killer elevator pitch.
Yeah.
A couple of sentences.
Yeah. Yeah, so first of all, the company is formally is onetouch.io. That's the formal name of the company. And essentially what we do is we help companies reduce risk, dramatically improve operational efficiency, and ensure sustainable security and privacy policies through the autonomous automation of the discovery and classification of sensitive data. So that's quite a mouthful. And just to elaborate a little bit, by personal sensitive data, what I mean are what typically are referred to by many companies as their crown jewels. That's the customer information and their employee information. And anything about customers and employees has attached to it a lot of risk, because as we all know, there's lots of ransomware and breaches that are occurring literally daily. In fact, I just read before I came on your call today that DoorDash, which is kind of a food delivery service, was breached, and lots of personal credit card and personal information was stolen. Just this morning, it was a headline in the Bloomberg press. So what we do is we help companies find all of that information, that employee data, that customer data, and all of the bits of data at a highly granular level, regardless of where it exists in the enterprise. And just to expand on it a little bit, that data is typically located in various repositories, be they databases or file shares. And that data could be in structured files, it could be in unstructured or semi-structured files. It could be data at rest or data in motion. Inventa, which is the name of our product, is designed to automate the discovery of that data, regardless of where it exists across all of those repositories. Okay,
so that's One-Touch in a nutshell. Talking about all the breaches and things, we have them fairly frequently on this side too. And aside from breaches in the security aspect, there's also obviously the legislative side of things and compliance. We've got POPIA here, you guys have GDPR over there. So that's obviously one trigger in terms of customer interest. But what else are you guys seeing across the globe in terms of people that are interested in and talking to you as One-Touch?
Yeah, there are a number of reasons that companies are talking to us. The first is the fact that data is literally exploding geometrically, all types of data across the enterprise. That leads to a high level of complexity. And when it comes to managing that data, specifically for personal data, again, customer and employee data, that information needs to be protected. And the fact is, it's very challenging technically to know where all of that data exists across the enterprise. But until and unless you do discover all of that data, you're not able to secure it. By secure it, I mean encrypt it, tokenize it, archive it, minimize it. And so one of the reasons companies are coming to us is that they're really being challenged by the fact that they're not efficiently able to reduce the risk associated with finding where all that data is, all of that personal data is, such that they can in fact secure it. And then secondarily, and you just touched on it with POPIA, GDPR, CCPA, LGPD in Brazil. There are many, many privacy laws out there. And one of the challenges with keeping up with privacy laws is the response to a what's called a DSAR request, a data subject access request, which is the formal term used when an individual, a customer or an employee can request from any company a list of the personal data that that company has on them. And typically they have 30 days. The company has 30 days to respond. Well, once they respond, or in order to respond, I should say, they need to know, well, how much data do they have about Glyn Bryson? And where is all of that data about Glyn Bryson across the various repositories in an organization? And so the first thing that the company has to do to respond to that request is pull all of that data together and then return to Glyn Bryson or a company or an employee all of that data about them: credit card information, home address, business address, phone numbers, emails, healthcare information. Again, troves of sensitive data is typically stored about a given customer and employee. And then once that employee or customer receives that data, they have the right to either amend that data. Let's say somebody relocated, their address needs to be changed. They have the opportunity to send back that changed data, and the company has an obligation to change it. But more often than not, many persons are saying they want to invoke their right to erasure, meaning I want you to erase all of the data that you have about me that's personal. And in order to do that, you need to know where all of that data is at a granular level. And on average, in most corporations, the individual data about a customer and employee resides in anywhere from 5 to 20 different repositories, 20 to different databases, file shares. Could be in an Excel spreadsheet, a PDF. It could be in an Oracle database or a MongoDB big data repository or data lake. You need to be able to know where all of those bits of data are, bring them all into one record so that you can in fact erase them. So that's one reason that customers are talking to us, the ability to find an operationally efficient way to both secure the data and then respond to privacy regulations. Another is accuracy. There are other tools in the market that actually do discovery and classification of sensitive data. And but what these companies are finding is that the result returned from those other solutions is highly inaccurate. It is at best we've heard is no better than 40 to 60% accurate. So if you think about that, if you're using a tool to discover and classify personal sensitive data and you're only getting 40 to 60% accuracy of the data, then either you need to deploy a lot of resources to clean that data up and improve the quality of it, or if you don't have those resources, then whatever decisions you're making are only 40 to 60% effective, and we think that equals risk. And so accuracy is a major factor, and we claim through some training data and other proprietary methods we can get to 98% accuracy with the inventory and catalog of sensitive data that we discover. And then last but not least, another reason is many of these solutions are also very inefficient to operate. They require a lot of people and intensive resources to work. Meaning you have to know where the data is. You have to tell the solution where to find the data. You have to point it to the data. Well, if you think about how many repositories a given corporation might have, that could be in the hundreds of thousands. So you got to start with, well, where do I point my solution to find the data? With Inventa, we'll find the data automatically. You don't need to be told where to look for the data. It's part of our solution, and that dramatically improves, again, the operational efficiency of it. And it's also ongoing. It's not a point-in-time solution, meaning, again, most solutions you have to point to where the data is, it will do a scan, and you'll get a result, a point-in-time result. Inventa is a continuous process. It's continuously discovering as new PII data is discovered and found as a result of the scans. It's updating the inventory and the catalog of that data in near real time on a continuous basis, not a point-in-time basis. So those are some of the reasons that companies are talking to us and that we're having a great success.
Yeah, it's one of the points that I certainly do emphasize when I talk to prospective customers is, you know, that whole concept of it's not just a point in time. It's important. It's the persistence, persistently trying to uncover new sources of data in an environment, because, you know, data's a living, moving thing anyway. You know, it's constantly being replicated and constantly being transported and moved. So spot on there in terms of the all those points. I mean, you know, organizations are looking for these technologies to tell them where the data is. So what would the point be of first having to point the technology to a particular area? And we've had some very interesting experiences with POCs where files have been found in containing very sensitive information, just lying in the most arbitrary places, which can be easily accessed by anyone.